Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Today it's another Patreon scenario. This one was sent in by HiBACONBOMB. Yeah, that's the guy's name. With the loss of the Bismarck, a German Naval Command decides to take revenge and dispatches a fleet of ships to attack the British home island. And with the home fleet gone, it's the perfect opportunity to do so. However, the British learn of this attack and are able to pull out some retrofitted Iron Duke class dreadnoughts and hastily throws them at the oncoming fleet. Your objective is to hold the line as long as possible for the home fleet to come and reinforce you. Now, our tech levels are the same, 1935, 1935. I get 3 battleships, the Germans get 2. But here's the problem. I have to build an Iron Duke class battleship. So that means it's a battleship which has a maximum displacement of 29,500 tons. If the AI feels like it's a bad day for me, then what they could simply do is build a super heavy battleship of 130,000 tons, and my chances of winning that fight are very slim to none. Now, let's see what else we need to keep in mind. Try to keep the weight of the Iron Duke, the layout and weight of the Iron Duke as close as possible. However, you may need to take some liberties, but please do not try, or please try to keep it under 30,000 tons. You may not have guns bigger than 15 inches, and they must be housed in twin turrets. You may need to have unlock all on in order to play this scenario. The win condition is for me to hold out for at least 2 hours, or to sink the enemy battleship and at least 2 heavy cruisers. So I still have a few ways of winning this scenario. Now, let's see if I can design the battleship without the unlock on. I usually much prefer that, because it then allows me to not have... Yeah, there we go, it's not possible. It's going to force me to have this entire row of battleships, or of ships that I can build. So, unlock on. And here we go. Good luck picking the right ship for this fight. It looks like the Dreadnought 2 hull over here, it almost minimum displacement, is the only one that I can actually pick. Because then we're coming up to the modernized Dreadnoughts, modernized battleships, and just get progressively heavier from there. So, Dreadnought 2, this one. Maximum displacement with 29,500. So almost minimum displacement here. 550, can I go for exactly 110? There we go. All right, the Iron Duke. Now let's draw up the specs. The Iron Duke battleship was going to do a speed of 21.25 knots. So she's really slow. That is not going to help me survive this fight. Range, 7,780 nautical miles. I'm not sure if that's long, medium, short, whatever. I'm going to say it's medium. Bulkheads, I'm going to go with many. Now, engines. Propulsion, 4 shafts in steam turbines. I think that this is the only thing that I'm going to get, because these are geared steam turbines, and it says steam turbines. Fuel. I'm assuming oil, or, well, it's not coal, so let's say it's semi-oil, because these ships are fairly old. Boilers, I don't know, induced. I don't really care that much about this part of the ship. I'm more interested in how to build it out armor-wise and gun-wise. Because this thing used to have 5 dual 13.5-inch turrets. I'm going to round that up to 14-inch. Because otherwise it probably won't make for a very good ship. If it's going to be 13-inch guns against what could be a German super heavy battleship, then I'm going to have issues. Let's just put it that way. Now, we're going to need 14-inch guns in a dual barrel setup. So 14-inch dual. One there, one there. Now here comes the tricky part. I would actually need to have one over here. And another 2 on the stern. I don't know if that's going to be possible. I don't think so. The problem is that the ship is actually too advanced. Or the hull is too advanced. And not big enough. So I'm not really going to be able to put that middle turret on. Yeah, it's just the biggest hull, or well, rather the smallest hull of the battleships. And more importantly, I can't even put that other turret on. Because there's no place for the barbette. If I would want to do that, I'd have to make sure the ship goes one tick larger, I think. No, not even. Wow, this is a pretty bad hull. So building an Iron Duke like this, well, there is another way. If I can put both of the turrets on the stern, I just wouldn't be super firing. This is going to look nothing like the Iron Duke. All it's going to do is more or less have the right set of weapons, but not in the configuration that the Iron Duke had it. Anyway, he said make it as close as possible. I'm afraid this is about as good as it's going to get for the firepower on this ship. Normally you would have the modern, or rather the main tower, and then comes 2 funnels, which I couldn't put on here if I wanted to, then another turret, then the secondary tower, then a casemate gun, or sorry, a barbette with 1 turret, and then another turret. But on this ship, it just doesn't fit. There is one more thing that I can try and do, and that is go for well, a bigger tech disadvantage in my case. So let's try that. Let's say that I'm 1930s. No, it's too big. The Dreadnought 3. The Iron Dukes were introduced in 1914. In service 1914, 1946. Could I do it with this hull? I know it's too big, but at this point I'm just wondering if it would be possible. And I could just drag the displacement to minimum, which in this case is 32,000, and try not to use all of that. That might work. Because what happened, I think, was that the game pushed the other ship out of service. Because it was too outdated. And that probably led me to not being able to pick the right hull for this ship. Now let's put the other... Yeah, I need to go for a different barbette. This is silly. Medium superimposed barbette. You on there. And then the ship would have another turret amidships. Can I go for a smaller main tower? Because for some reason I can get the advanced towers, but they're probably a bit too large. I need something with a smaller footprint. That's way too big. I think this is, footprint-wise, the smallest one I can get. It takes up as little room as possible. How far can I drag this back? Pretty far. How far can I drag the case or the barbette forward? 1 more notch. Okay. Then the modern tower can come forward 1 notch. Then we can put the gun down the middle. And then see if we still have enough displacement left. And more importantly, room on the ship. Well, it sort of fits. Sort of. The speed on these things was 21 knots. Yeah, oil. Let's go for Karuppiah 4. So yeah, I have to balance this between being an Iron Duke design and with something that could be actually sort of survivable in this game mode. See, I couldn't put the second funnel on. That's another problem. I cannot put the second funnel on because there's supposed to be 2 funnels. It's just not going to fit. Is 1 funnel going to be enough for this ship? Yeah. What about natural boilers? Perfectly fine. Because we're doing such little speed, I really don't need that much more. Okay, so that's her main armament. What did she have for secondaries? Yeah, this is where we run into another problem. The secondaries were casemate guns, because the Iron Dukes were effectively Dreadnought builds. That's not possible. Alright, back to the drawing board. 1915. But the Germans still get 1935. I'm going to be in such trouble. No. Not the right type of hull. Damn, this is tricky. Dreadnought 1? Maybe. How big can you get? 29,000. Okay, I'll take it. I think that this tower is a bit more in tune with what I should be building. But now I don't know if the medium imposed or the standard superimposed barbettes can even fit. Let's try again. 14-inch dual barrels. Maybe I need to go with a different modern or different main tower. Because this is the 3. I think this would allow me the room amidships to get that extra turret in place. But funnels also need to be accounted for and cannot be added to this tower. So that would mean make sure I have enough room to put on the funnels. And there we go into trouble again. And I still have to put on the extra guns. So over there and over there. And now I still have to find some way to put a secondary tower in. Good luck with that. Yeah. Well, we're getting somewhere. It's by no means ideal, but I feel I'm getting a bit closer to the design as it should be. Unfortunately, I cannot put 2 medium funnels on here, so it's going to have to be 1 larger funnel. Okay, and then for the casemates, she had 6-inch casemate guns. That was her secondary battery. She had 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Aft weight offset is substantial here. There we go. That's better. Let's see if I can scroll this one forward a notch. Yeah, but it's already amidships, so it doesn't matter that much. 4, 1.6, 4.2. There we go. Right. Now to put on some more armor. Slide the range down to 21. Get the bulkheads up to many. Get the barbettes up to heavy. Because the enemy now has a severe tech advantage on me. And I don't feel comfortable with that. Let's put a little bit of torpedo protection because they do carry quite a few destroyers with them. Let's put a rangefinder on. Stereo 3. Oh, look at that. 500 tons, and I haven't even started on the armor yet. Oh joy. Let's see what the armor is. Now, at least the armor doesn't look too terrible. She was supposed to have, or she had rather, belt 12 inches of armor. I have a plus 98 quality. For those of you unaware, this means that you can just add 98% of 11 inch plus that. So, I keep getting people saying, hey, I think you're wrong about this. No, I'm not wrong. I checked with the devs and they said that this is it. You don't need to do an armor quality of some sort of weird calculation. You take 98% of this number, so that's 10.9 something, and you add that to this. That's how that armor quality scheme works. So, effectively, I already have a lot more armor than this ship did. Now, this is where I'm going to potentially offend the purists who are saying, nope, if it says 12 inches of armor, you need to have 12 inches of armor. If I do that, then this is going to be a really short video because that would mean that the ship is going to get penetrated by absolutely everything. These guns can penetrate 12 inches of armor at about 15, 16 kilometers out. If you have a battleship from 1935 with bigger guns and better propellant, speaking of, it's going to be even worse. So with the level of armor that I have right now, I can at least sustain some hits. And that might just allow me to survive for the time that I need until the main fleet arrives. Which means that I have survived for long enough. And that means that I have effectively won the fight. So I'm not going to follow with the armor scheme too much. It's just not going to make for a very good video. And if you think that you can do better, by all means, get the game, linked down below in the description, and try it for yourself, and then get back to me and prove me wrong by uploading your own video and linking that down below in the comment section. Now, one problem that the ship will have, we're starting at 15-kilometer range, and that means potentially plunging fire. And that's not something that this deck is really made to withstand. Maybe I can get 2.5 inches of deck extended armor, but I think that's about it. The ship also had 2 single 3-inch AA guns. I'm not going to put those on. But she did have 4 21-inch torpedo tubes. I still need to install those, but unfortunately I can't go for 21-inch because I don't have the right tech level. 19-inch. It's going to make these torpedo tubes pretty heavy. They can only be underwater, so port, starboard, bow, and stern. And reduce the deck armor a little, I guess, to make room for the torpedo tubes. There we go. Unfortunately, that means that the 4 weight offset is a bit too high. I would like to get this ship every kind of advantage that it can get, simply by balancing it out. So here we go, the Iron Duke. She is very poorly protected. She is going to do very poorly against the German fleet. But then again, I suppose that is the point of this scenario. Because we're pushing a couple of very old ships into service just to defend the British home islands. Let's see how the ship does. Now, here's another problem with this scenario. Not only is my battleship from 1915, so is everything else. The heavy cruisers, the light cruisers, the destroyer. In this scenario, it is 1935, and the heavy cruisers, the light cruisers, and the destroyer might have been more modern. But unfortunately, everything gets dragged down to the level that I have selected. Okay, we have the Agamemnon and the Iron Duke. We have the light cruiser Naiad. Okay, fairly well protected. 7-inch guns, torpedo tubes, and a couple of 3-inch. Heavy cruiser Abukir and Donegal. Many bulkheads, 11-inch. That's a lot of firepower for a heavy cruiser. Triple 11-inch? Whoa. Okay. And then our lonely destroyer, Mischief. Perfect name for a DD. Many bulkheads, speed 37, triple torpedo launchers, port and starboard 19-inch, range 4.8. You're probably not going to be that useful, I'm afraid. Now, we're already taking fire without having seen the enemy. So let's send out the destroyer to try and scout. The Agamemnon is already losing guns. Or at least taking damage to the guns. This is not good. Look at the amount of fire that I'm taking. That was a 14-inch hit. 9-inch casemate partial pen. I haven't fired a single shot and I already have a battleship down to 94% structural. Come on, show me the enemy. What am I up against? Where can I find them and how can I shoot them? 9-inch hits the light cruisers. Naiad, you might want to turn away for a second, because at this rate, you're going to be the first one to get killed. Especially if one of those 14-inch shells hits home. So let's try not to be the first one to go. 14-inch shell hits the battleship for 99 damage. That's the biggest hit so far. But I can't even see these guys. Naiad flooding and turning away. The heavy cruisers set scout. No. I want you guys to start following the battleship line. Because those guys might need protection from destroyers. Ah, we found something. We found a heavy cruiser. That's a lot of firepower for a heavy cruiser. Now, I know for a fact that it is a heavy cruiser because there aren't any battleships in this scenario. Or sorry, battle cruisers in this scenario. Range 10 kilometers. That's how close this guy got. Agamemnon, maintain course to port. And bring over the guns. Accuracy 1.5%. I think that heavy cruiser is the one sporting the 9s, right? Yes, 15 9-inch guns. Lots of firepower for a heavy cruiser. Different sense of firepower than the 11-inch guns that I have. Not necessarily better or worse, it just depends on what sort of ship you're targeting. Even torpedoes in the water. Damn. I'm not sure if the Iron Duke is going to be able to avoid that shell fire. Or that torpedo. So let's... Oh. No, not at this rate. Close the barn doors. Full reverse. Shit, there's another one. No. No, 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 no. I don't have a torpedo blister that's good enough. There we go. Alright, propulsion standard. That just saved my life. That ability to slow down very quickly. Oh, we got an ammo detonation on the heavy cruiser. Good work. Those 14-inch guns can do damage if they hit. That's comforting. Because those heavy cruisers also have the ability to hurt my battleships. That's another heavy cruiser, and here's another one. Destroyed casemate. Already. That's pretty quick. I still haven't seen the battleships. I still haven't seen their biggest guys yet. Uh-oh, another torp. Those things usually travel in packs. So I really want to know where the rest of the torpedoes are. That heavy cruiser might flood. That'd be good. Alright, Mischief. Let's see if we can still get an eye on the battleships before you go down. These torpedoes could be useful, but maybe later on in the battle. That's the problem. In the current configuration, they're just not that useful. Oh shit, the Iron Duke joined the wrong formation. Iron Duke, you're supposed to join Div 1, the battleship division. Yep, we sunk the heavy cruiser. Time to sink the next one. These ships may be old, but apparently they can still do some damage against the heavy cruiser. What do we got here? Oh, that's the sinking dude. I thought it said battleship, but of course the battleships haven't been ID'd yet. 6-inch guns pitching in. Oh, Mischief's been damaged badly. Oh no. Mischief's probably gonna sink really soon. Unless you can miraculously repair that damage and stop that flooding. She's pretty much toast. Light cruiser status? Alive. Alright, your orders are to follow the heavy cruisers. Which I think is Div 2. Yep. Another bad hit on the destroyer. But in return, we've hit the heavy cruiser for 157. Mischief, dead. Okay, I've sunk one, but I've lost one. Oh, destroyed a main gun? Yeah, that was a 14-inch shell that penetrated right on the turret. Good thing the turret's not blown off yet. Could have been a lot worse. Flash fires, ammo detonations. I could have lost that ship. Now keep putting pressure on this heavy cruiser and see if we can sink the second one. Then it's down to 2 battleship, a few light cruisers and some destroyers. And I'm hoping that if the heavy cruisers are destroyed, the light cruisers that I have and the heavy cruisers can do a bit more work and are allowed to roam a bit more freely against the destroyers so that these guys don't get torped, the battleships. Or Dreadnoughts, or... Ah, we got the Victoria Louise. Very German sounding name. Minimum bulkheads. 9-inch guns. Pretty good speed. Turning circle's not that great for a heavy cruiser. Anti-torp 5, no less. Citadel 4, anti-flood 1. Anti-flood 1 in tandem with minimum bulkheads is pretty risky. What I'm particularly happy about is that they're not those torpedo cruisers that you sometimes see. Ships which carry 5, 10, 15 torpedo tubes per side, and that are capable of just dumping battleships really quickly. Fortunately, not happening. Now, Canada and Iron Duke are pretty slow. I'm going to slow down the Agamemnon a bit. Put that to half and put these guys to a bit more. Yeah, just stay at 16 then. Let's see if we can get the Hansa. The rest of the ships... That's a decent angle, but it's not quite what I like. Turn to port some more. Because then we can bring all barrels to bear on the Hansa. Casemates, 1 damage. The main battery, nothing from the Agamemnon. Not a single hit. Fortunately, some of the others have done damage. Canada is the one that inflicted flooding and also caused the ammo detonation. And that's far more useful. Come on, Hansa. A few below waterline hits and you start flooding. Rangefinders and accuracy in 1915 is not really that good. Range is 6 kilometers. I'm not sure where the battleships are, but I'm thinking somewhere over there, considering the size of shells that's coming in. Canada, how much guns can you bring to bear? A few. Oh, you destroyed a torpedo tube on the Agamemnon. And you damaged the rudder and the casemate. And keep in mind, right? This is with me not changing the armor scheme. If I had actually had 6 inches of armor, or, sorry, 12 inches of armor, these guys would have blown them to bits very, very quickly, because their reload's only 17 seconds. And they carry 15 of those guns. So this is why I did not reduce my armor. But again, if you think you can do better, by all means, show me. I'm eager to learn from your performance. What's this heavy cruiser doing? I thought the Donegal was ordered to follow the Agamemnon. Maybe not. Alright, well in this case it might actually be useful, because we can use those 11-inch guns to sink some heavy cruisers. Ideally quickly. And we can more effectively close the distance than the Agamemnon can. Come on, Hansa. It's just structural, it's not flooding. Keep it up, keep putting the pressure. I'm concerned about the damage to all these main guns on the Agamemnon. The way that this ship is taking damage, it's a recipe for something to go horribly wrong. Donegal's 8.3 clicks away and 7.5 from the Hansa. Okay, keep going. Another turret taking damage. What's your chance to pen me? 26% only? Yet I'm getting bow belt extended, mid deck, partial pens. Main tower, over pens. Really? Whoa! Several torpedoes in the water. 1, 2. I might need to swap formation from the Abukir, just to get her to turn away from the torpedo. Donegal can keep going. Agamemnon, just to be safe, turn a bit more. Donegal, engage the Hansa. Keep putting pressure on her. Abukir. Oh dear. Yeah, I should have used the barn door maneuver. Oh. That was a really painful torpedo hit. Oh god, there's another one. Flooding on Donegal, but that's not due to the torpedo. That's due to getting hit with a 9-inch gun. The objective is to hold out for 2 hours of in-game time. Well, I think that my heavy cruisers are not going to be around for that long. Have you done any damage? 39? What's your chance to pen? 70%. But your chance to hit's just terrible. Look at that! Flash fire twice, dead. Oh, come on. Hansa. You've had your fun, buddy. You've proven that you're a very dangerous ship. There we go, more flooding on the Hansa. How much damage has she inflicted? 1900? That single cruiser has done more damage to my fleet than my entire fleet has done to them. This ship has inflicted 1900 damage. The Agamemnon has inflicted 89. How did you inflict that damage? Ah, with an armor pen. Oh, sorry, an ammo det. That helps. Ammo detonation is a really quick way to get rid of ships. Abukir is still alive. Not by much. Oh, Agamemnon's going to try and fall back. No. I don't want you to do that. I want you to keep pressure on the heavy cruisers and make sure we keep moving away from whatever's throwing those 14-inch shells at me. Because if I can get a sort of technical win by deleting the heavy cruisers and keeping my ships alive, then I'll take it. It's just that the heavy cruiser is not going to survive that. She's flooding all over. Oh, 5%? She stopped the flooding, but now she's flooding again. Destroy the main gun on the Victoria Louise. Ah, there goes the Abukir. Oh, and the Sydney has a flash fire? What happened to you? 1 3-inch shell from a heavy cruiser and you get a flash fire? Wow. Well, then again, you have no armor, so I suppose that clears things up. Chance to pen for the Victoria Louise. 35% and increasing. Come on, Canada. It's time to make your move. Flooding on the Victoria. Again, really happy she doesn't have torpedoes. Iron Duke. Increase to best speed. Torpedo away from Canada. Victoria Louise immediately detects that. And zigzags. Not really interested in getting hit by a torpedo. There's another one outbound. Look at this thing turn. How good was your turning circle again? 622? I'm not seeing that. This ship has its own laws of physics going on. Come on. She's heavily flooded. But not good enough. Come on. Ricochet chance. Ricochet angle's too high. 80 degrees. Switch to high explosive. I just need to do a bit of damage to her. And AP isn't getting there. There we go. Flooding. Just need to slow her down some more, and then when she's open, we can finish her off with an AP salvo. Come on. 3%. Dead. Well done. Alright, now you, Hansa. I have no idea why the battleships, the enemy battleships, aren't closing this distance. Because it seems like the heavy, or well, their battleships pretty much anything would be faster than 21 knots. But for some reason, the battleships aren't materializing as a threat. So I don't know what their there we go. Light, or even the heavy cruiser went away. What the hell? They're northwest. Well, we bloodied their noses a bit. But they bloodied our noses too. The Agamemnon is reduced to a speed of 16 knots. Which also happens to be the cruising speed of the Canada on the Iron Duke. So let's have you rejoin the division. Let's have the whole division go to 14 knots. Except you need to go to 16, otherwise you won't be able to catch up. Alright, Naiad. Follow. Both of the light cruisers are still alive. Come on. Follow. These guys. There you go. Why are those battleships not closing? I'm not too eager to hunt them down. Because I can just wait out the time. And win. They can't. What the hell? I haven't even seen what sort of build the enemy ship has. I know that they're 14-inch guns, but that's about all I can tell you. I don't know what armor scheme they have, what speed they have, whether they have torpedo launchers, where all the destroyers are, for example. Let's close the distance a bit and see if we can find where the enemy is. Although, considering we lose sight at about 10 kilometers, I'm not that likely to find them. Look at the score, though. 9,500 damage done by the enemy. 2,500 damage done, or not even that, by the British. So, we're a bit behind in damage. We've lost 2 heavy cruisers and a destroyer. And the Agamemnon is going to need some repairs, but at least she's afloat. She's lost 1 turret. It looks like the other ones are perfectly fine. Iron Duke has taken a scratch. Canada's also taken a, well, a larger scratch, but all her weapons seem to be operational. Oh shit, something spotted the Sydney. Over there. 13 clicks out. And it's shooting at the Sydney. This is where the ship is, because I can set target. 13 clicks out. Light cruisers, smoke up if you will. Is the Agamemnon taking fire? Yes, she is. Just now. I still have 53 minutes to survive. Come on, we're gonna turn in. Formation abreast. You know what, they're... In a way, they are already formation abreast, so just everybody turn. Agamemnon seems to be having some trouble with that. Might be because she's been damaged. Uh-oh. That's 9-inch shell fire. That's the heavy cruiser again. Come on. These ghost cruisers. The way that they can just hammer the battleships without any kind of retaliation from the oh. I wasn't expecting it from that angle. The way that they can just hammer the battleships without the battleships doing anything in return is problematic. Oh, here's the rest of the German fleet. 22 clicks away. Yeah, I'm not catching that. I'm not even going to bother with that. We're going to turn away. See if we can catch the heavy cruiser. If so, great. Because then the rest of them might lose line of sight to me. Since the guy over here somewhere might be the spotter. There she is. The Hansa. It's the one I was looking to find. Chance to hit? Less than 1%. 2,500 damage. Well played to them. Oh, she's turning. Is she trying to get back to her main fleet? If so, you know what? Go ahead and do it. I'm going to turn starboard. I'm going to keep the distance. If I can score a kill on another heavy cruiser, great. If not, I'll just wait for my home fleet to show up. And, of course, it's not actually going to show up. It's not like I suddenly spawn in a couple of extra battleships. But it's going to happen in the sense that the main fleet is supposed to show up. And that fleet will probably kick the German fleet's ass and mean that I don't have to continue on with this fight. Damage to Canada's main guns. Come on. You have 13 inches of turret armor. How much pen do you have? Range? 7.5 kilometers. 15 inches of pen? But I have 13 inches plus 98% armor quality. So effectively nearly 26 inch. What the hell? I don't get that. If it was flying through the turret top, sure. But at 7.5 kilometers, it's not going to go flying through the top. It's going to go fly right through the front side of the turret. Here. This is incoming shell fire. That is not coming in from the top. See? Right on the belt. It shatters on the main belt armor. And as well it should, because I have 11 inches of armor there. The extended belt armor is a problem. And so is the secondary armor. So all those casemates are only getting 6 inches of armor. Which is perfectly pennable for that heavy cruiser there. 38 minutes left. Oh, nice shot. Flooding. Slow her down before she's able to rejoin the rest of the fleet. I don't need that from the Hansa. Damage to the secondary tower. Structural integrity 66. Buoyancy 20%. Sort of. Let's angle a bit more. I'm having to make a choice here with the Canada between either angling and making sure the Canada doesn't take more damage, or going full broadside and getting more guns to bear. And I'm going to choose not to take too much damage, because if those battleships do make a push, I'm probably going to need all the armor and all the health I can still get. Ricochet chance is low. I just need to hit it. That seems to be pretty troubling for the Canada. Iron Duke's disengaging, very good, and so is the Agamemnon. I don't mind skirmishing with him. Ideally, of course, I would sink him. He's down back to 79% buoyancy. Right back from 20% to 79%. Fantastic German engineering when it comes to pumps. She still has 526 shells. She went into battle with increased shell ammo. Hard not to, really, considering how many shells she's fired. There we go, another flooding hit. Amidships, which is double good, because it also means that an engine compartment could remain flooded. And with that, the engine can stay out of action. 40%, 37. 37 holding. 3 engines have been damaged. I know I'm chasing down or keeping the Hansa in my firing line with just the Canada. I'm not really that optimistic about the Iron Duke's chances of hitting her. I mean, she's 11 clicks out. I have 0.8% chance to hit, but with Canada, 3%. It's quite a bit better. Hansa is working on restoring buoyancy to probably the stern compartment here. But those 2 midship compartments don't look that good. Another flooding. Come on. Oh shit. I've gained a bit too much terrain and I've gotten too close to the battleships. That's 14-inch shells that are raining down on me. which is exceptionally bad because it means right through the deck armor. Come on, Hansa. For a heavy cruiser, you've inflicted massive damage. Now it's time to just accept your fate. 22 minutes and 40 seconds. Until the battleships get here. The King George V, I suppose, would show up. Maybe Nelson would join in. Oh, here come the pumps again. 26%, 27, 28% buoyancy, 29, 30... They've even managed to bring another engine back online. Do we know how far? 12-3. I am not interested in that fight. 14-inch hit the main tower, overpenned. Didn't do that much damage. Another flooding hit. But not before she was able to pump so much water back out that she's back to 47% buoyancy. These German pumps are fantastic. And that's anti-flood 1? What? What is anti-flood 3? Unfortunately, it's really hard in this game to do tests. To see how much water would get pumped out faster, or rather, how much faster water would get pumped out by, for example, anti-flood 3 versus anti-flood 1. But good lord, this is anti-flood 1. And... oh, she does have an Aux 4 engine. That helps. That helps substantially with flooding. Or rather, with pumping out water. She seems to be... is she out of ammo? Yeah, she's out of ammo. Unfortunately, she's also still heading away. I'm back to 58% buoyancy. Gotta give those guys... lost her. Gotta give these guys credit. The way that they're pumping out the water is extremely impressive. Wow. Really well done to the Germans. Just pumping out water. And not once, not twice, but 3 times she came to about 20% buoyancy. And 3 times she pumped it all out and she's still alive. That is really impressive. Now, I think that for the last 10 minutes, there's not going to be that much action. 10 minutes, 37, 31. Ideally, I would keep these Iron Dukes alive. Maybe retrofit them. Slap on some Harpoon cruise missiles. And who knows, maybe they can become useful again. Because the 14-inch guns and the 21-inch knot speed, or 21 knot speed, is just not good enough. Now again, I know that this is not really the way that the Iron Duke looked, but from what I was able to do with the game limitations, I think it's not a terrible imitation. If you have a better way of doing it, give me a link to, for example, Imgur, so I can see what sort of design you have. I try to do the historical designs justice while at the same time balancing it for gameplay. And that is not the easiest thing to do. Because again, the armor scheme, not as the way that it was historically, but at the same time, if I went for historical design, it really wouldn't have been that good of a video, because the heavy cruisers would just punch really big holes in the battleships, and I would have probably lost these battleships within the first 30 minutes of in-game time. Anyway, it seems like the Iron Dukes, old, battered, bruised, but alive, have been able to defend the British home isles. And we have done so for long enough to make sure that the rest of the British fleet can come back and assist us. So, officially, mission complete. We've lost a few ships in the process, but the British home fleet can assist, and the isles are once again secure. Thank you to HiBACONBOMB for sending in the scenario. If you also want to join my Patreon Naval Architect ranks, link is down below in the description. And I shall see you guys tomorrow for another Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts video.